Hey, Twitter friends and YouTube. This video will be about friendship. And it's really important to have friends, obviously, but it's really important to have a close friend. Like a lot of times people just have acquaintances, but they don't have like a close friend that they can tell anything and everything to. And you really need to have at least one person like that. For me, it's always been my mom and my best friend Ashley, and Ashley's been my friend for 20 years. We met when I was 14. And she's stuck with me through all the hard times and given me lots of great advice. So here's some good verses about friendship. A friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. Jesus said, I no longer call you servants, because a servant does not know his master's business. Instead, I have called you friends. For everything that I have learned from my Father, I have made known to you. Yes. So God can be your friend. For me, I really feel like God is my best friend, besides my best friend Ashley. But like I really talk to God all day, every day about everything. I mean, I literally have like an ongoing conversation with God. And I always ask him questions, and I feel like he gives me an answer like right away. Which some people would probably think that's crazy, but you know, I've been walking with God for 20 years. Like literally, I got saved when I was 14, now I'm 34. So, you know, the longer you're in a relationship with someone, the better you can hear their voice. And, you know, that's how it is with God too. Because you listen, you know, the longer you're with someone, the more you listen to them, hopefully. Sometimes it works that way. But anyways, so I really feel like God is my best friend. So I hope he's your best friend too. And if he's not, he can be. You just have to trust him, you know. That's the main thing. You just have to trust God if you want to be friends with him. A despairing man should have the devotion of his friends, even though he forsakes the fear of the Almighty. Oh, that's Job 6:14. That's interesting. That was probably Job being a little bit mad because his friends were like picking on him when he was going through his hard times. If you read the book of Job, they were like, oh, you must have done something to deserve all this. God is punishing you. And he's like, no, like I've been blameless. I've been a good person. So he said that as a rebuttal to them. A despairing man should have the devotion of his friends. Yeah. For real. And that's been my life like the last, well, I guess 3 months. I feel like people around me, except for Ashley, it's kind of like kick the victim, you know, like people that should be close to me and should be on my side seem to be mad at me for my whole situation, but I'm like, it's not my fault. So anyways, yeah, a despairing person, anybody in hard times should have the devotion of his friends and family, but it doesn't always work out that way. But praise God, God is always there. My intercessor is my friend as my eyes pour out tears to God. That's good. That's in Job 16. He who covers over an offense promotes love, but whoever repeats the matter separates close friends. Yeah, for sure. Like lying is huge. If you have a friend or a spouse or a family member that lies to you, and they do it repeatedly, it's probably going to kill the relationship. So watch out for that. You know, it's okay to do something one time, but if you're doing it like habitually over and over, then it's not going to be good in the end, for sure. A man of many companions may come to ruin, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. Yeah. So watch out for having like a lot of friends. Because why? Because the more people you let speak into your life and like try and control you, first of all, the more confused you're going to get, because you're going to be like, I don't know who I should obey or who I should follow, which you shouldn't really obey or follow anyone but God anyways. But yeah, like the more friends you have, the more you're going to have multiple voices, you know, trying to tell you what to do, and you're just going to get confused, and you're going to be a double-minded person. And James says a double-minded person is unstable in all his ways. All right, 2 are better than 1 because they have a good return for their work. If one falls down, his friend can help him up. But pity the man who falls and has no one to help him up. Yeah, so make sure you have at least one good friend. And, you know, like when they need a friend, you be a friend, and then, you know, then when you need help, they'll be there for you. Like a good quote that I heard was, if you want a friend, be a friend. So don't just be on the receiving end, you know, you should be able to help them too. This is a good verse. Do not make friends with a hot-tempered man. Do not associate with one easily angered, or you may learn his ways and get yourself ensnared. I have known a lot of easily angered people, which, yeah, learn his ways. So if you hang out with someone who's easily angered, that it's going to make you that way at some point. And for me, like, I was always a pretty chill person. I didn't really get angry a lot. But then I had a boyfriend 8 years ago, and he was really easily angered and hot-tempered because he was on testosterone. Watch out for that. Men, do not take testosterone. It will mess you up. But any guy who's on testosterone, they have a really quick temper, and it's really going to throw off your mind and your ability to control your emotions. So if you're a guy, don't get on testosterone. If you're a woman, don't hook up with someone who's on testosterone shots. It's bad. Wounds from a friend can be trusted. Why? Because your friend cares about you and they want to speak the truth to you. You know, like I love in a sermon I heard, sometimes we need to tell people what they need to hear instead of what they want to hear. And that is so true. I was like, whoa, that's like the wisest thing I've ever heard. It was the pastor's wife at Church on the Rock in Georgetown. And I love that church because he lets his wife speak. She does like 1/3 of the sermons, which is really, really cool. I've never seen that before. But she's a really strong personality and very wise, and she has a lot of good stuff to say, so that's why he lets her speak, I'm sure. But I really like that she said that, because that's so true. Like sometimes, a lot of times, we need to tell people what they need to hear, but don't make it abusive. You know, like you can give advice without making it sound abusive. Like you have to speak the truth in love, you know, and people can tell when you're speaking it in love. And if you're not speaking in love, no one's going to receive it, your advice. You know, you have to speak the truth in love. Which it's hard. It's a hard balance because generally people either decide to just say nothing and not speak the truth and just be loving, or they're on the other side and they speak too much truth and without love. And I've done both. So, all right. Jesus said, "Greater love has no one than this, that he laid down his life for his friends. You are my friends if you do what I command." Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, that's important. So if you feel like you have a broken relationship with God, just do what he asks of you. And the best verse on that is, what does the Lord require of you? To love justice, something like that. To love justice, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. So stay humble. You know, God opposes the proud, but gives grace to the humble. That's a really, really important verse. If you want to stay in a relationship with God, you have to stay humble, because you have to admit that you need him. You know, if you're not going to admit that you need him, then how can you really have a relationship with God? You know, like, and that's the majority of America and the majority of the world, really, I think, is like, people are like, I got this, like, I'm self-sufficient, I'm independent, I'm on my own, I don't need God, I don't need his help, you know, I'm going to do this on my own, I'm going to soldier on and be strong. But that's not the way to live, because it's like, you know, Jesus says you have not because you ask not. So when we're like, oh, I don't need any help, then God's like, fine, then I won't give you any help. But if we're like, God, I need your help with this, this, and that, then, you know, hopefully he'll help you. And you just have to have faith that he will, and live in a right way so that he'll reward you, you know. We have to believe, what does it say in Hebrews? Faith is believing that God exists and that he's a rewarder of those who seek him. So if you're seeking God, he will reward you, and you have to have faith that he will reward you. But you have to, you know, walk in a manner worthy of your calling, like Paul says. You know, you have to, like, generally be a good person, love other people, you know, because a lot of crap that happens to us, we bring it on ourselves by being a jerk or a biatch, you know. So don't be a jerk or a biatch, and, like, make sure that you love people, and as long as you're trying, then God will reward your efforts. You know, you get an A for effort. Nobody's perfect. We all mess up. You know, we all hurt people, but we have to keep trying, you know. Like, it's one thing to sin once and then repent and do it differently, but it's another thing to, like, keep messing up over and over again and being hateful instead of loving. Okay, this one's good. Perfume and incense bring joy to the heart, but the pleasantness of one's friend springs from his earnest counsel. That's good. Yeah. So it's important to have a wise friend. You know, make sure you have a friend that's smarter than you. That can really give you good advice. My friend Ashley, I think, is smarter than me in a lot of ways. And that's a really important thing to have in life, because we all need, you know, some advice sometimes. And be humble enough to, you know, receive that advice. So, But also, like, if you expect people to receive your advice, you need to be a respectable person. Like, you can't, respect is not given, it's earned, you know? Like, you can't just expect people to respect you and listen to what you have to say. You have to be respectable. If you respect other people, they'll respect you. So if you're expecting someone to respect you, you need to respect them first. So remember that. That's really important. All right. May God bless you all. I pray that this benefited you in some way, and have a great day. God bless.